Hi, guys. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. I'm Sara Kooperman, and I'm the CEO of SEW Fitness. And if you don't recognize where I'm at, my fireplace and my pictures of my children, which of course are not here, I'm in Colorado right now with family. So it's really kind of fun. So welcome from Colorado. What I'd love you to do, I think you all know how to do this. Move your mouse, if you would, go to the bottom of the screen. You're going to see the green share button. Don't click on that because you won't go anywhere. Go to the left, that's the chat box, and you can type in where you are from. Usually we can tell your name because we've got you on Zoom, but please type in where you are from. And I'm just going to type in hello and shoot it out to you guys. So wonderful. We've got people from Portland, Oregon, Tampa, Florida. Oh, I'm so jealous. New Mexico, Canada, Alabama, Michigan, New Jersey. This is great. We love to hear from you guys. Another person from Canada, Virginia, Texas, Pennsylvania. Hey, Diane, here from Chile, Masagua, and I'm jealous of the warm people too. Yes, we all are jealous of the warm people. So this is pretty cool. Thank you guys for joining us. I have a wonderful cast of fabulous panelists today. And what I like about them is they're all different. Okay. So we've got Nathalie Thomas. She's an international #1 bestseller. She's from Canada. She's authored 11 books on success and wellness, and she's empowered over 100,000 individuals to avoid the negative self-talk. She also does a lot of presenting, and she's a public speaker, very well-known public speaker, as well as presenter, and she's going to be presenting at Livestream Mania. Yay, we love it. Ronnie Fulton is fascinating. She started a fitness business called iRestore, and it's a healthy living company that provides actionable self-care strategies for long-term vitality, pain relief, and weight loss. And she's got a wonderful story because she's a lot like a lot of us. Okay, independent instructor turned professional, and then business owner, and she's self-starter, extreme self-starter. And we've got Travis Barnes, who's just ends up being one of my favorite people, and he is the CEO with his wife Cindy Barnes, and they co-own Journey 333 with several locations in New York. And he's the co-author of the best-selling book Results Fitness. And he is a wonderful presenter as well, and is lending, both Ronnie and Travis are also lending their expertise for Livestream Mania. But they all have great stories. And what we're going to talk about today, and I'm sure you guys all know this, tech tips, apps, and shortcuts to automate your business and make money. Okay. It's not a sin to make money. A lot of us have been unemployed. A lot of us lost our careers due to this pandemic. And we got to figure out, how in the heck am I going to develop my program, sell it online, and keep adapting to these fabulous but very dysfunctional technology changes that are thrown at us. I can't even say monthly. It's not even weekly. It feels like it's daily. Okay. And that's a little scary. I'm like looking at Ronnie, who's lifting her eyebrows. So we're going to address the following topics. How should I be automating my fitness business online? And Ronnie, I'm going to start with you because I think your story speaks to us all and is very, very inspiring.
Okay. Thank you, Sara. As Sara was saying, I am an independent contractor. I was a group exercise instructor, yoga instructor, and I taught in the gyms, and I taught workshops on recovery pre-pandemic. And so like all of us, once everything shut down for a while there, I had to make a huge change. I literally went from having a successful practice to not working. So I went online, like so many of us have. And I created a virtual holistic studio, is what we call it. And we offer live classes, we offer on-demand classes and programs, as well as personal training. So it's definitely been a journey of triumph and a lot of obstacles, but it's definitely possible. And to answer your question as far as ways to automate, the platform that we use is called Kajabi, And for me, because I don't have a huge tech background, I chose to use more of an all-in-one type platform. So I don't have all these different apps that I'm trying to work with. We started off with a bunch of different programs, and that was a bit overwhelming for us. And so finally, I figured out a program called Kajabi, and that includes the membership side of it. So I get a chance to save all of the on-demand videos and the recipes and meal plans there, but it also integrates with my website and with email.
Oh, that's great. Kajabi. How do you spell that? Because actually, I don't even need to ask you because Mike Lieber, who is our fabulous cinematographer, actually put the link in here, and it's
Wow,
K
that's great.
A. I'm going to do this for the people who are watching the recording. KAJABI.com.
Correct.
And does it also accept your money?
Yes.
Okay, because
Like
that
it,
tends to be a little bit more difficult for a lot of people. How do I get paid?
absolutely. Yeah. So when I first started off, we had WordPress for the website. I forgot what I was using at first. There was like a landing page, and then you had to figure out how to integrate PayPal, and it was completely overwhelming.
And
So,
we have a
well,
good question. I don't want to interrupt, but Nicole asked a good question. Um, do you pay Kajabi, let's say, a monthly fee or an annual fee, or do
correct.
they take a percentage of your client revenue?
No, I pay Kajabi. I pay Kajabi, and so there's no additional charge to my clients. It's whatever charge I determine. And
And
so the beautiful thing about Kajabi is everything's done. The platform is really user friendly, very intuitive. And so you have everything from payment to emails. So once again, I was using a different email platform and I really struggled to get the forms, the information from the form to go into the email system and put it in the right category. And it was just a lot. But Kajabi makes everything a lot easier.
now I'm going to ask you kind of a brash question. What do you
Ask
pay?
me a question.
What do you pay? And
It's Yep, that's a good question, right? So it's $199 a month. And for me, it's more than worth it because if you look at how much hosting would cost, I mean, because I had WordPress, if you look at your landing pages and all that, if you look at your gateway platforms and you add up all those different apps, it's actually could be more expensive doing it that way. But
And if
this
you
way,
look at
it's
it, if you're able to charge, even if you charge $50 an hour for a client, that's
mhm,
4 clients
right,
in a
right.
month.
And
And so
everything's in one spot and you don't have a headache.
right,
So
and it
that's
integrates everything. That is great. Um, Travis, how did you automate your fitness business online?
Yeah, so like many people, we pivoted quickly to Zoom, and
Travis, you're a little bit quiet again. We're not quite sure why.
no problem, we'll take care of that. Yeah, so like many people, we pivoted quickly to Zoom. Can you hear me okay now? Let me
It's
just
a little better. It's a little
okay.
better.
And in pivoting to Zoom, we had like 70 updates in 70 days. And let me just say this, it was overwhelming. But one thing that I like to do is I like to take gym tours. And the good news about gym tours is that you can now take them virtually. So I started taking them of similar franchises to ours to see, what things we might be missing, what other things we can integrate. And it's just a great learning experience. There's a whole world out there virtual right now where you can pick up a lot of gems. And so over that period of time, we learned to mix music and microphones and get a studio quality feel. We created a Journey app. For years now, I've been watching people and seeing that there was more and more businesses that had apps. And I was like, well, one day we're going to have an app. Well, now we have an app where people can literally log in and choose from an on-demand program. They can get a daily workout sent to them. They can book a session. They can book a session and then they're going to get sent back their Zoom link. Good news for people that are only participating virtual that want to track their attendance because they booked the session through the app. We can still provide attendance. They can still track their weight through the app. Thankfully, this app can also integrate with MyFitnessPal, where we can still look at a lot of their macros if we're helping them with nutrition. We used exercise.com to create that app.
You
That was a
use what? I'm sorry, Travis. We couldn't hear you.
exercise.com. Exercise.com was the
Mhm.
platform that we wound up using to create our app. So yeah, that was there was a lot of pivoting, a lot of things going on, and there continues to be, right? We were talking about this earlier before the call, but think about it. We used to, I don't know, it was winter time, maybe remind your members to change your shoes. Now you got to remind them if the updates are not set to automatic in their phone, you got to go in and update your Journey app, you know? So there's just a lot of new things and you need to work with the technology. But that's the main platform that we've been using now. It's exercise.com. Have the Journey app where you can participate in virtual, where you can participate in on
So
demand.
you like having an app. It's interesting. We're starting an app with our Water in Motion program where people can download the video, they can download the music, they can play it right from their phone as long as, you know, as soon as they log into Wi-Fi. And then they can also download their choreography. We worked with a company that developed the app. They're called Catalyst. And they did an excellent job making sure it was available through iPhone and Android and iOS. I mean, it's amazing how many technology pitfalls there are that we
Yes.
seem to keep tripping into over and over again. But these services like Kajabi, that Ronnie shared, or exercise, etc., that you're talking about, Travis, really help. Natalie, you have a wealth of knowledge, and you have to share with us some of the stuff you do.
Okay, so really, I'm just a little maybe earlier because I started to do this 4 years ago. So when the pandemic hit, I was already 3 years ahead. I'm still reading the same book than everybody. I might just be a few chapters ahead. So I do have over 16 pre-recorded courses. They are on my WordPress website, and I use Access Ally. So Access Ally is a plugin that you can have in your WordPress website. So instead of paying rent to Kajabi, or there's Thinkific, or there's lots of different platforms that you could have the all-included services like Ronnie has. And it's a good idea to do that as well if you don't want to manage it yourself. I like to not pay rent. I like to have everything home. So my website is WordPress. I use the Access Ally platform in order to put all my online courses there. Then I create my own videos. Slideshow is a super easy app that I have on my phone that I can create video very quickly with 2-3 images, a few little videos. I put a cover, I put a music in the background, and I can put text over top. It's super easy. Another app that I love is Capwing. So Capwing is really cool. You go online, you upload your video, and then you can do a few cool stuff with it. So I'm going to show you my screen here. So this is a
So
fun, yeah.
Capwing, Natalie, you just downloaded that on your phone. It's an app you put on your phone.
Capwing is not on my phone. Capwing, I go online to capwing.com and then I upload my video there. Slideshow is an app on my phone. So
Okay.
Slideshow is an app on my phone. Capwing is one that I go in order to have access. So I'm going to show you. So what I do, because I'm more doing speaking. So what I can do with Capwing is, this is just a video that I posted, but see how the
Yeah, we can't hear you, Natalie, right now.
So this is just to show you how you can have a text at the top. You could have your subtitle playing at the bottom, but I'm going to show you how Dita is using Capwing. So Dita has made this video, and instead of giving instruction, she's just moving. So she's just doing her move, and then you see at the top and at the bottom, you could have the instructions there. So that's done with Capwing. It's really cool. So Dita is one of my clients, and it's kind of a fun way. Like all she's doing is like a one move. This is a quick Instagram quick video that she's promoting her Pilates online. So she writes down the instruction at the top and at the bottom. So this is a fun app that you can use to automate some of your business and what you do. There's lots of other things that are fun if you're using your slides as a background. So I use a green screen, and I could position myself wherever I want. I could be in a gym, but there's a way now with Zoom, if you're using Zoom Live with your participant, that I could go ahead and I could share my screen and share my slide in the background. So I'm going to show you how I can do this. So I'm going to go into advanced, because when you share your screen, if you go into advanced, you can choose slides as virtual background. So now I'm going to choose a presentation that I've prepared in advance, and the first slide is going to come up, and then you're going to see what it looks like. So you can see myself in the corner, and then it's still preparing the slide. So then I can position myself like in the actual coffee mug, and I could just be talking to you from the coffee cup, and then I could disappear in it, and I could come out of the coffee cup. Or if I want, I could be hanging out at the pool with Travis. And that's why we're talking about your nipple, Travis. So I could be just hanging out at the pool with Travis. Or I could position myself to be sitting in the limo with Ronnie, so that I could maybe make myself move myself to the side, or make myself a little bit lower, or make myself bigger. You can do that with Zoom when you share your slide. Or I could move myself maybe to the corner here, and I can take pictures of Sara on the red carpet. So there's lots of things that you can do. Of course, if you are doing nutrition, you could position yourself behind the counter of a kitchen, and then you could be doing your whole presentation about nutrition, and then have your props, and then show them this glass of water, and then show them whatever you're cooking you could have in front of you, but you're positioning yourself where you want. And of course, you could position yourself in a gym. So I can make myself at the front, or
so the nice thing is this is all available on Zoom, and what you can do is you can go in the video setting and go to advanced settings and do these things. A wonderful way to learn how to do this. Obviously, I think Nathalie leads courses on this, but another way to learn how to do this is simply Google, how do I put in a virtual background in Zoom? Literally type that in. They're going to show you little videos how to do it, and it does take time. But if you, I love what Nathalie's doing. I enjoy the creativity of that, but I gotta be honest with you, I don't have all the time sometimes to do that. And I think, Ronnie, that's what happened with you, is that you decided, I'm going to job some of this out, right?
Yeah. So that was probably my best decision as far as just moving myself forward in this space, was to hire. Originally, I just started outsourcing a few projects, but now I actually have 2 virtual assistants, because things, as we were talking before we got on the call, things are constantly changing. And so for me to try to be the expert in recovery and muscle care and teach, and then also be the expert in Kajabi and editing videos, it can feel and seem overwhelming. And for a while, they was just kind of sucking my joy, because there was so much tech and admin work. So, learning how to outsource, and it was trial and error, definitely spent money on people and projects that didn't fulfill my business's needs. But I have figured out a couple companies. I work with Task Assistant, and I really like them because they have a manager that oversees the virtual assistant for you and kind of helps you to manage them a bit. But that has been a huge help to me, so that I can focus on what I like to do, which is being the professional. So I'm still, group exercise instructor, a muscle recovery specialist, and that's where I want to stay. And it's just nice to be able to do it online.
And there's value in both. There's just value in both. I'm a little bit of a control freak with some things, like Nathalie, like she's smiling. Thank God somebody's like me. I do all my own PowerPoints. I learned, I mean, my God, I know more than some of my creative team, probably most of my creative team, and PowerPoints, just because I wanted to learn, and I did find joy in that. So there's positive and benefits. And if you don't have the money right up front to start hiring someone and outsourcing, you start doing some things yourself, and you'll be surprised at how easy it is, especially with the apps that people have created, which I think is very, very interesting. So what app should I utilize daily to manage my virtual training business? Now, you said you've got these general apps, but also, how do we manage it? Do you then train as an instructor, do you train other people to help guide you on it? Or how do you teach and manage and quote unquote distribute or technologically at least supply this to your clients. Ronnie, how are you able to do all that?
Well, I have a good structure throughout the week. So I record all of my actionable steps. So if I want a VA to perform a task, I record it on Zoom. So
And a VA stands for
oh yeah, virtual assistant.
virtual
Virtual
assistant.
assistant. Um, and keep in mind, when it comes to virtual assistants, you don't have to hire someone for 20 hours or 40 hours a week. You can, I mean, as simple as Fiverr, you can go and have someone do one project for $20 or what have you. So you have so many options there. But for every task that I want someone to do, I do it first and I record myself doing it so that when I have the meeting with the virtual assistant, we go over it, but it's all documented. And then each week we have, I have specific meetings with different people so that I'm staying on top of things. So for example, Mondays are big admin days for me, and Fridays I do a lot of administrative work. But for the most part, between Tuesdays and Thursdays, I really try to focus on what I'm passionate about, which is, working with people and training one-on-one. So
Yeah, it's very hard. I'm a teacher, and I honestly, it's so embarrassing. I didn't teach a class for years and years. I train instructors how to teach, but I
mhm.
didn't teach. And I'm like dying right now, and I started teaching. I teach 2 yoga classes a week, one on Mondays, one on Fridays, and I love it. And I love it, but that is my passion. But Nan, like, how quickly were you able to learn to do some of these things yourself? And did you discover a passion through that on top of the teaching and the leading of fitness programming?
It's a very good question, Sarah, because at the end of the day, I was exactly like everybody else. It started with my mindset. It started with, did I discover a passion? Not really. Is that I got rid of the limiting belief that I'm bad with technology. Did you ever heard yourself say that? Did you hear everybody say this, right? We all are convinced that we're bad with technology, but technology is not like riding a bike. If you know how to ride the bike, you know how to ride it. But technology is changing all the time. And we are really good with technology because we all went from this to this, to this, to this, to this. And all of a sudden there was no more keyboard. And yet, whenever the Apple or your Android phone is making an update on your phone, all of a sudden you can't find the pictures that you took of your dog wearing a bikini, but you still figure it out because we are good with technology. So the very first step is to tell yourself, I used to think that I was bad with technology. And then you tell yourself, now I'm willing to learn where it is that I have to click on Zoom, because you have years of experience as a trainer, as a fitness instructor. You have your intellectual property, your knowledge. You learn the insertion and the attachment of all the muscles in your body. You can learn where to click on Zoom. That's easy. So let's get rid of that limiting belief and let's understand that, hey, we can figure this green screen stuff out. My green screen, I bought at the party store for $16. It's just a roll of tablecloth, and it's just taped on my wall, like easy. And I was seeing in the chat, oh my gosh, we should do a workshop on this. We are doing a workshop on this in 2 weeks at STW Mania. So it is called I'm So Bad with Technology. It's a catchy title because I know a lot of you've heard it, but come to that workshop. It is a whole hour and 15 on tech and how I do that kind of stuff. So if you want to register, I'm going to show you one more app that I use. It's called QR Code Monkey. That is free. You can go and create your own QR codes. If you want right now, take up your phone to the camera and then scan the barcode beside me. And if I pin my image, you'll be able to see it maybe a little bit bigger. So I can just pin myself right now. So then you can move your phone and then you can register now to STW Mania live stream next month in February. And there's one more app that I really love that is for managing my business. I use Later. So later.com. It's a platform that I use for all my social. So I manage Instagram and Facebook with it mainly. So I have all my posts over here and then I just drag them to the day of the week that I want them. So it's super easy. On Sunday, I spend 2 hours doing all my social. And then I create all my little posts, I create my little capwing video, I create all my stuff, and then I drag them and post you can even post the first comment with all your hashtags and everything with later. So I really like that platform.
And that's really nice because it's a time saver. Because I'm sorry, I'm not going on social media. I know Travis has no time to go on social media 3 times a day, 3 different posts and pushing it. And we're still not sure. We've done a lot of tracking as far as the impact of social media on sales for SCW. And to be honest with you, we can't track it. It's not bringing us revenue, but it's a cost of doing business. It's something you need to do. So if you can minimize the effort that you're applying towards it and maximize, at least maximize your exposure, then hopefully that will help with that. Um, Travis, how are you managing your virtual training business? Do you have a virtual assistant, or do you end up doing part of it yourselves? Or did you discover some of your staff like loves to do this and has just engaged?
A little bit of a mix of things, So first of all, like what Ronnie said, you have to outsource, right? If you decide, let's get the right people in the right seats. We're not great at everything, so let's make sure that we outsource. I love Nathalie stealing the show with just these awesome virtual backgrounds. So what we did, and this is how it works, right? Very systems oriented. That's why we have locations in multiple states. And so I had to figure out, how are we going to do what we did in the facility, but now do it online? So one of the things we did was have like a virtual background contest, right? We even had like those kind of things. We taught people. I saw there was a question in the chat: how do I create a virtual background? You just go to that up arrow next to your video camera, and you can upload pictures and have them be your virtual background. So a simple process, but there was always these little contests and things going on in our facility, and we're like, what do we do now that people are doing things from home? So we tried to take everything good that we were doing in the facility and now do it online. So we manage our memberships. Still, we use ASF. We still use them for our billing. And so we can come up with things like birthday reports, attendance reports. Attendance reports were always a big part of our program because we have a missing in action report that comes out weekly. Who's missing in action? Let's track them down. You can still do that for virtual if you're having people book a session. So who's enlisted in your virtual program that hasn't been in for a while? And then hopefully we all have some sort of SMS tool so we don't have to text people one by one. Simple messaging, right? So that way you can send that out. And so we're doing a lot of the same things that we did within our facility. We're even finding ways, like if it was somebody's first workout, typically at Journey, to hold the sign, right? I went all in on my first workout at Journey. But now we're even finding ways to just still kind of create those photos by taking a simple screenshot and doing a little virtual community post. Hopefully everybody has some sort of little Facebook group for their virtual communities. And then you can welcome that new member in much the same way that you did in the facility. So yes, we are adapting to technology regularly, but we also have a challenge. And this is why we're doing it. Because I don't know about most of the listeners on here, but I believe that we probably have something in common. And this is that we are here to change lives through fitness. And so if you tell me way back in March 2020 that I can no longer do it in my facility, it's still my mission. It's still my mission to change lives through fitness. And what I have to do is I have to figure out how to do it through my TV, adopt whatever technologies, but take the good stuff with you, right? What was it that you're doing in your facility that you can still do for people virtually? I was accepting paper and pen food journals. You could turn in a paper and pen. Now I have to teach people how to use my FitnessPal, but I can still coach my nutrition. And when you're teaching people about those kind of nutrition tools, you have to teach them how to make their journals public, and so you can see a tool like that. And it's just a whole new way, but it's like, hey, we were helping people with nutrition in our facility. Does that have to stop? No, there's a technology that's out there. And that's what you have to do. You have to say, what is the good that we need to provide and how can we still do it?
And we did get a question. I think you inspired this, Travis. Was, are there any recommendations for tools to shoot videos, a good microphone, how to incorporate music without drowning out the instructor? And And I'm going to tell you, SCW runs a course on, basically it's on technology. We have a course on virtual training, and we have a course on social media. And I'll ask Mike Lieber to put that in the chat. Nathalie has some great courses as well. But for general recommendations, I'm going to be honest with you, buying an elaborate camera is completely unnecessary. You just use your phone. These phones have beautiful technology for videotaping. And there are simple, inexpensive ways you can do things like hiring that virtual assistant or learning how to do it yourself. For me, I'm teaching right here in the condo in Colorado. And I use my camera is my phone. That's a picture of my husband and me. Yes, I use my phone. I use my AirPods are actually my microphone, with the camera, and my computer is the music. And then what I do is it's just the way you integrate the three. I will also recommend to you AV Now, and somebody already put it in the chat box. AV Now, and Michael put the website in there, is a phenomenal resource. They know microphones, they know videos, and they also know integration machines. Because if you own a business, I mean, Ronnie, how many instructors do you have that work for you?
There's 3 of us total. There's only 3.
But there are 3. It's not like you can tell somebody, use your own phone, use your own camera, you need a system. You need a system. And Travis, how many instructors? We're still really having trouble with hearing you. I think it's possibly your Wi-Fi connection. But so if you speak slowly, that'll help us, I think. How many instructors do you have work for you, and how many trainers out of how many gyms?
Yeah, so we have a location in Indiana, we have 3 in New York, we have 1 in Pennsylvania, 1 in Florida. Everybody's participating virtual, and there's still, 5 to 8 coaches per gym, right? So, there's a lot of people that are trying to participate in virtual.
So you've got how many gyms?
So there's a total of 6.
6 gyms, and you've got at least 5 trainers in each gym. That's at least 30 trainers. Do you also do Group X?
Yes, we do. We do Group X. We do one-on-one. We have different people take turns recording the on-demand videos. So it was important for us to systemize the setup, right? So we systemized it, to kind of take a page out of Nathalie's book here. We can share that. This will be coming up at the SCW. So this is just our setup. We use this Behringer mixer board, simple microphone. We, of course, use the TV so that we can project our people in front of us and see them bigger and be able to give them coaching tools. It's very important. The camera, totally agree with you, Sarah. We haven't done any sort of high-tech camera. We do keep a whiteboard where no one can see it. It's kind of good for you to know what's going on next, but you don't have to look at your paper to keep on coaching the workout. We've learned that we like to do things according to time, so we keep a time clock visible. That's something that people may want to adopt. We found that it was a little bit easier for people to follow a time clock that we're displaying on the screen than it is to follow a certain number of reps. So that is basically our little setup in a nutshell. You can learn more about that in SCW in February here. But
that's great. That's incredibly helpful. And also somebody said you're very clear and they can hear you. So maybe it's me. Could definitely be me. Now I'm going to ask you something, Ronnie, because at some point this pandemic is going to lift. We're already getting vaccinations, are getting, the 65 plus have been vaccinated or are getting vaccinated, and they're also having people log in right now if you're in your 60s but under 65. So we're beginning to get younger and younger, which is great. And this pandemic will lift. We're really hoping by the fall. Our first SCW live convention is going to be in October in Chicago. And then in November, we'll be in Dallas. And then in December, we'll be in Boston. But we're not holding a live event this spring or this summer. But it's going to lift. Ronnie, how are you going to adapt your virtual training to your live? And what this tells me is how much money should I invest in my virtual training that's going to last more than the next 6 months? Because if I'm making an investment, I want that puppy to last a year, right?
Mhm. Yeah, very good question. And we've, of course, been paying attention to our trends. So when we first started off, we did a lot of live classes and we had, 60, 70 people in group exercise classes, and it was exciting. But of course, as it's going on, people are doing less and less of that. And we're noticing that we're getting more people who log in and look at the recorded videos or the on-demand videos. So we're already seeing where our live classes are getting smaller. Each month or so. So we're looking at more like a hybrid model. We plan to continue to offer the on-demand. We've sent out surveys and getting feedback from our members, and the feedback that we've gotten is very favorable, that they do plan on continuing within the next 6 months to a year. So we wanted to, get feedback. I think that's always important to survey and listen to your members. And we're already doing like a hybrid model. I do teach some live in-person classes in the community here now. And they're more like 1 hour, 90-minute workshops. And then the follow-up to the workshop is a video or programming online. So we're kind of testing that out right now, where we are doing some live in-person courses, but still encouraging them to join us in the on-demand platform. So far, so good. And that's what we continue to keep testing out.
And that is interesting that you said people are getting basically zoomed out.
Yeah, I
They're
think so.
getting it's like if I go to one more virtual party, it's like, oh, I'm just going to turn my camera off and do whatever I want, right?
Right.
Um, but you think you've seen that hybrid works. I will share something with you guys that when we first SCW was a little ahead of our time, thank goodness. In 2019, well over a year ago, we started in October doing hybrid certifications, and it didn't diminish the attendance for the live programming. It just almost doubled our attendance because we did hybrid. We videotaped a live program going on. So
Yeah.
my hope is, and I don't know how you feel about this, Ronnie, but my hope is that when we do go hybrid, we're going to keep some of these people that love that virtual, but maybe we'll also grow more of our live members.
Yeah, that's my hope as well. I mean, right now I do a Sunday class every week, and so I do it inside of a Pilates studio. We are practicing, of course, social distancing, and it's live, at the same time for people who are a part of the membership. So it is a lot going on of trying to work the room and make sure everybody in front of me is okay, but also taking care of people who are online. But we are tapping into that population who wants the live in-person experience. And we've had, I think 40, I'll have to go back and look at my numbers, 40 something percent of them that did sign up for the membership as well. So,
Sarah, if I could, I think we have to look at this as well as kind of like an ascension model. If you want to grow what's happening in your facility, you have to offer these virtual options or these recorded options to start to get people to re-engage. Like maybe step one, they do an on-demand video. Then maybe they come to a virtual session. Maybe if you live someplace warm, or soon it will be warm for all of us, right? Just a couple months. Maybe then they come to an outdoor. Then they learn how safe your facility is. And maybe they try a semi-private. Maybe before you know it, they're back in group. So we have to kind of help people to transition through these stages of re-engaging in fitness. And I think it does begin with virtual, but I think it will ultimately grow your facility in the long run, because people do crave that. It's just like they're starting to dip their toes in the water. And for those of us that pivoted, we wouldn't have the population that we did without pivoting to virtual. I mean, imagine how hard it would be to come back if you didn't use this as a retention tool now. So.
And Nathalie, where do you see the virtual training model transitioning when the pandemic lifts?
Well, I saw some research lately, and 85% of people that have started to do online will remain with online, even when the gyms reopen. That's a huge number. So online and virtual is here to stay. And some people will really want to go back to in person, but there's a lot of people who will continue with virtual. I have a few answers for Leslie in the chat. She said her sound is going up and down with YouTube. I use StreamYard when I go live on YouTube. So StreamYard, you can go live simultaneously on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn at the same time. So maybe that might help with your sound. The other thing that I do is I share my computer sound and I Bluetooth it into a little portable speaker beside me, and that's how I hear it. And for my participant, I lower the volume way down so that they can hear my voice more. But if it's too low, I won't hear it. So that's why I Bluetooth it in my portable speaker, which seems to fix the sound. The other thing Sara said earlier, she said social media is an investment, but you don't get money out of it. So on Friday, so on the Saturday at Livestream Mania, I'm doing a session on tech, but on Friday, I'm doing a session on business, and it's called Transform Social Media Fans into Paying Clients. So there is a way to do your social media wisely in a way that you are making money. So come see me on Friday. It's called Transform Social Media Fans into Paying Clients, and we'll know how to track these numbers so that you can actually make money. I have one more app that I use. It's called Pretty Links. It is connected to my website, and I can create very easy link for my participants. So instead of go to zoom/us/j/9349 and where's the link, it's thinkyourself.com/zoom. So that's my website /Zoom. And I do that with a Pretty Link. And my very last super high tech, I'm not sure if you guys are going to be up for this, but check this out. It's a popsicle stick glued with a white little piece of paper. You can send that by regular mail because it's very thin. It's very cheap to send that, mail that to all your participants. And when they're ready to go, they show, I'm fired up and ready to go. And if they like it, everybody shakes the little heart in front of the camera. So this is very, very low tech, but it's super fun. It's inexpensive. You make them yourself with a popsicle. Make sure that you can even use used popsicle stick if you're really thrifty, and then you mail that in one envelope. You have your few little, and it's fun, like people shake the little heart when they give you heart. And anyway, so I just thought I would share that with you. It's
You're
fun.
strange, okay? You're just a strange woman. But I'm laughing because when I first started, when I go online and I was teaching my classes, and all I did was I had to get somebody to pay me by Venmo because we didn't have the technology yet. And I'm sure you went through this, Ronnie, as well. When you first start, you're like trying to figure everything out. So I used to take a piece of paper and I wrote, at Sara Kooperman, Venmo, and I would just basically thank people, say, thank you for joining today. And I appreciate your donations. And if you want to reach me, here I am. And, it's so funny, but I always feel like there's nothing wrong with sending your kids to college, putting food on your table, and buying Lululemon now and then, just now and then. But technology is really huge. So Travis, you think things are going to continue. Ronnie, you think things are going to continue with technology, and so do you, Nathalie. It seems like all of us, yes, thumbs up.
Yes, oh, definitely. I mean, definitely to an extent, it's here to stay. I think that by Q3, I think you're wise to, wait till the fall. Most predictions that I hear as far as really seeing like a good recovery in the gym have to do with going to the fall. But there is, of course, a lot of people that have gotten used to this being their routine for a year now, and that's a long time. That's not just a couple-week process. So people have made this switch, so. Yeah, I agree that it's here to stay, but I also think that we will see increasing numbers coming back to the gym. So the gyms will restabilize come Q3.
And that's very, very encouraging. I really do agree with you, Travis, on that. I really do think people are going to come back live. I'm going to ask you guys. It's not on my piece of paper, but I'm going to ask you. I've been reading a lot about the on-demand programs, and I love the on-demand programs. But at my facility, I don't want to go take an on-demand program that's quote unquote prefab, meaning it's an instructor I don't know, it's music I haven't heard. I don't know the instructor's face. I'm not used to their movement patterns, but it's beautiful. It's got palm trees, or it's got movement, or it's got this or that. I want to know my instructor. I want to take Lynn's body pump class. I want to take Ene's yoga class. These are my favorite. I love Mia. I love Dee. I mean, I know them, but I know them. I know who's divorced. I know who's single. I know, the ex-husband. I've heard the whole stories. I personally feel that that's important. Do you feel, Ronnie, you've developed an on-demand program, like, from scratch? Are these with your own instructors, or are you kind of going in with and I'm not, please don't think I'm saying that these are bad programs, like the Beachbody program, the Peloton program, the Les Mills programs that are all on demand and sexy and beautiful and engaging. How do you think, do we integrate with the on-demand programs that are prefab, or are you creating your own with your own stars?
Yeah, that's been the secret to our success, is creating it with our own stars. So my other trainers and instructors, they're my colleagues, people who are doing the same thing that I was doing in their community. And all of our members are people that I taught, or their friends and family. Of course, we've picked up some people, along the way, but for the most part, these are my students that I've taught for years. They've referred people, they've referred family and friends, and I think that's been a part of it. So yeah, we don't have the best videos. It's not super glossy with all the we're not there yet. We'll get there with Nathalie's help, right? But it's important that they're connected to us. We know them and they know us. I record my videos live downstairs in my dining room still. And my husband has set up a huge TV screen for me so that I can see everybody's little face in their little box in Zoom. And so we do the roll call and we interact, and that's part of the community. And it's part of why it's so important for them, because they feel connected to the people that they were working out with in the training.
Yeah. And oh my God, I can't believe it. We're out of time. This is horrible. This is horrible. We're going to have to go to your sessions. All right. So Ronnie, one more thing is you get the people. How are your retention numbers with your membership?
We haven't lost anybody yet. Knock on wood. Yeah.
I love to hear it, baby. I love to hear it.
And one of the things I would like to share is that we do, it's been very successful for us. We do a Bring a Friend Day once a month. And so, because people need to experience it. So then we encourage our current members to invite their family and friends on special days and times, no charge, and they all get a chance to come in and, meet and greet and take a class. And that's going.
And that's how you grow.
Yep.
That's how you grow. That's wonderful. I'm going to take that as your closing remark, Ronnie. Okay. Travis, share with us, give us a good success story here that we can cling to.
Well, the good story is when we pivoted to online, we were able to retain 90% of our members. We're starting to see growth in Columbia City alone. Now, Columbia City in Indiana is a town of 10,000 people. I want all the people that have brick and mortars on here to know they had 65 new trials in the month of January. 65.
Okay, I'm really sorry. I could not hear that.
You cannot 65 new trials in the month of January coming into the building in a town of 10,000 people in Columbia City, Indiana, right? So we are social beings, to the point of what you guys were just talking about, how we got to have community online. And at the end of the day, people will want to reconnect with brick and mortar. And if you're doing it online, you better find a way to have community on there, because social beings is what we are, and we will want that social back. So.
I love it. Thank you. And I could hear you. And Nathalie, what is your closing real quick?
People don't care. It's fun, all the virtual background and all the cool stuff that I've been showing you, but they don't care. They want to work out, even if it's, if we see your laundry on the bed, it's fine. Just get them moving and have fun and take some time to talk to them. It's no longer where you start the class at 5 and you finish at 6. At 5, you welcome people. So how are you? And then you start connecting a little bit, and you have to do a bit of chat, and you have to make sure that everybody's safe. Did you move the couch a little bit? Do you have room so you're not going to hit your head? And we need to do some kind of stuff like that. And it's just normal. Your classes are no longer 1 hour, they're 55 minutes, and it's fine. Or 50 if you need to chat at the end, and it's okay. You need to build a community.
We need to build a community. I'm going to end real quickly with a short video. Here you go, guys. That was wonderful. Thank you, guys. I'm sorry I went over, but this was really terrific. Travis, thank you for speaking up. Ronnie, thank you for joining us. Nathalie, we love your virtual background. We're all running out and buying a green screen and little popsicle sticks. Okay. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all so much for joining us. Take care. And next Tuesday, we have some more stuff on videos in our wonderful social media series. So I'll see you next Tuesday. Be sure to register. Take care, guys. Thank you. Thanks, Mike.